Dear medical student, this lecture is concerned with the cardiac syncope. It was prepared and presented by me, Professor Dr. Alayla Muhammad Al-Maghawri, Professor of Cardiology, Faculty of Medicine, Zagazig University. What are our objectives from learning the cardiac syncope? The objective or aim of any physician is to reach the diagnosis of the disease and to treat it. So our objective here is to describe the clinical presentation of cardiac syncope, to outline the diagnostic workup of cardiac syncope, to explain the prognosis and the treatment strategy of the cardiac syncope. وما ننساش objective مهم جدا during all of this نحن apply the relevant science that we learned before. The syncope, which is the medical term of the fainting, is a common condition. As we can see here from this histogram, it is a common disease. Actually, we can detect it is more frequent in female than male among certain age group ranging from 15 to 24 years. It gets more frequent with advancing age, with the most frequency of it among the elderly male. So we are not surprising when we found that it constitutes about 3% of the ER visit and about 6% of the medical admission. As we mentioned before, that the syncope is the medical term of the fainting, which means loss of consciousness, but to define this loss of consciousness as syncope, it should have a certain characteristic. The first criteria should be transient, and because of it is transient, so the recovery is rapid, and this recovery should be spontaneous and complete. This transient loss of consciousness is due to the cerebral hypoperfusion, which is also transient. So we had to differentiate the syncope from the other causes of loss of consciousness, where the pathogenesis of it is not due to transient cerebral hypoperfusion. Like which condition? Like the epileptic fits, the loss of consciousness is not due to cerebral hypoperfusion. Also, the post-head trauma like a concussion. Also, the metabolic disturbances, which met with cases of hypoglycemia, hyponatremia, and hypoxia. Also, cases of transient ischemic attack. All of these conditions should be differentiated from the syncope, where the pathogenesis of them are not due to cerebral hypoperfusion. We have different classification of the syncope, but our lecture is concerned with the cardiac syncope. So, what about the causes of this cardiac syncope? Cardiac syncope can be due to different etiology. The first etiology is the arrhythmia or rhythm disturbance, whether this arrhythmia is bradyarrhythmia or tachyarrhythmia. Not all cases of brady or tachyarrhythmia can induce cardiac syncope, but certain types. Like what? In case of bradyarrhythmia, this cardiac syncope can be presented in cases of structure, what the so-called structural nodal disease. Whether this structural nodal disease in the S node, like in sick sinus syndrome, in the AV node, like the advanced AV block, second or third degree. Also, in case of tachyarrhythmia, it should be significant, like what? Like ventricular tachycardia, severe supraventricular tachycardia. Also, patient with pacemaker, if they had malfunction of this pacemaker, they can present with cardiac syncope due to arrhythmia. Some patient had abnormal QT interval, which this abnormality is lengthening or shortening, and this can present with cardiac syncope due to arrhythmia. The second etiology of the cardiac syncope is the structural heart disease. This structural heart disease is commonly stenotic or obstructive lesion. So cardiac syncope is commonly met with patient with severe aortic stenosis, patient with hypertrophic obstructive cardiomyopathy, patient with atrial myxoma that interfere with the blood flow. Some type of cardiomyopathy, the so-called arrhythmogenic right ventricular dysplasia or cardiomyopathy, This type of cardiomyopathy, despite it is a structural heart disease, but it induces the cardiac syncope due to arrhythmia. The third cause of the cardiac syncope is the abnormalities of the great vessel, like what? Like the aortic dissection and pulmonary embolism. Now we know how the syncope is a frequent condition and the seriousness of the underlying etiology. So the diagnosis of cardiac syncope is a very important step. The first step in diagnosing of this cardiac syncope is the careful monitoring or reviewing of the medical history. So we had to ask the patient if this loss of consciousness is associated with exertion or occurred at rest. If it is occurred during exertion, so it is most commonly due to aortic stenosis or arrhythmia. If it is occurred after completion of exertion, it is mostly due to hypertrophic obstructive cardiomyopathy. If it is occurred during rest, it could be due to arrhythmia. Also, if this loss of consciousness was associated with convulsion and followed by post-ictal confusion, it is mostly not due to cardiac syncope, but it is a case of epilepsy or epileptic fits. The past history of cardiac disease or family history of early sudden cardiac death among the first-degree relative will reinforce that this loss of consciousness is due to cardiac syncope. The next step in diagnosing cardiac syncope is the thorough clinical examination. We will start with the vital sign. Abnormal heart rate or rhythm will signify cardiac arrhythmia. Elevated respiratory rate and hypoxia will denote pulmonary embolism. Severe hypotension will signify significant arrhythmia or advanced cardiomyopathy. Self-injury like biting tongue is a clue for seizure and not cardiac syncope. The auscultation may reveal the underlying etiology, like abnormal rhythm in case of atrial fibrillation, distant heart sound as in cardiac tamponading, systolic murmur as in cases of aortic stenosis and hypertrophic obstructive cardiomyopathy, tumor blob as in case of atrial myxoma. Also, we may need certain investigation to reach the diagnosis of cardiac syncope. The simple type of investigation is the ECG. ECG could be the resting surface ECG. It may show the conduction defects like AV block or bundle branch block. Also, it may show the pre-excitation syndrome like Wolff-Parkinson-White syndrome, the WPW syndrome. Abnormalities of the Q interval also can be detected from the surface ECG, whether lengthening or shortening. And also we can detect from the ECG finding consistent with underlying structural heart disease, like left ventricular hypertrophy in case of aortic stenosis, abnormal Q wave denoting old myocardial infarction in case of ischemic cardiomyopathy. Also, we can use ambulatory 24-hour ECG monitoring, the so-called Holter monitoring of the ECG, to document the intermittent arrhythmia, whether this arrhythmia is tachy or bradyarrhythmia. If we had a clinical suspicion that the underlying etiology of cardiac syncope is due to exercise-induced arrhythmia, so we can use exercise treadmill testing. If we have a clinical suspicion that the underlying etiology of this cardiac syncope is due to arrhythmia, and this can't be detected from the ECG, so we can go for more advanced procedure like the electrophysiological study, EPS study. EPS is an invasive procedure using a cath lab, and it will be only considered diagnostic if they induce monomorphic ventricular tachyarrhythmia or supraventricular tachycardia with hemodynamic compromisation, like severe hypotension, or severe case of AV block, like infranodal block. Also, we can use the echocardiography to detect the underlying structural heart disease. The upper panel and to the left, there is evidence of a significant and severe aortic stenosis. In the middle, there is disproportional septal hypertrophy in relation to the posterior wall, which signify presence of hypertrophic obstructive cardiomyopathy. To the right, there is an evidence of cardiac tamponading, as here. In the lower panel and to the left, there is an intimal flap in the ascending aorta, signifying presence of aortic dissection. And to the right, there is a huge left atrial mass denoting left atrial myxome. After reaching the diagnosis of syncope as it is a cardiac syncope, we had to know that the cardiac syncope is significant condition because it is associated with recurrence rate عالية. It may reach 33% within 3 years. Also, the cardiac syncope is associated with death. The high risk feature of cardiac syncope patient include the male gender, the old age, especially those who have an associated debilitating disease, and presence of family history of sudden cardiac death. After the risk stratification of the cardiac syncope patient, now we have the high risk group, which should be admitted in the hospital, and the low risk group, which could be managed in the syncope outpatient clinic. We still have a certain group of intermediate risk. Those should be carefully observed in special unit to detect to which group they will be joined, whether the high risk group that should be admitted to the hospital or the low risk group which could be managed in the outpatient clinic. The main aim of the treatment is to prevent the recurrence of the cardiac syncope, and this will be accomplished through reassurance of the patient, avoiding the trigger that could precipitate the attack or episode, like prohibiting strenuous exertion in case of exercise-induced arrhythmia, aortic stenosis, and hypertrophic obstructive cardiomyopathy. The second is to reviewing carefully the drug history of the patient, because certain antibiotic and certain antidepressant may induce prolonged QT interval and should be stopped. Also, we had to treat any correctable cardiac abnormality like permanent pacemaker implantation in case of severe bradycardia due to sick sinus syndrome or advanced AV block. Implantable cardioverter defibrillator ICD in case of ventricular resistant or persistent ventricular tachycardia. Also, valvular surgery for severe aortic stenosis. Eventually, we can conclude that we had to make sure that the event of loss of consciousness fulfilling the criteria of syncope. It is transient, the recovery is rapid, complete, and spontaneous, and we had to differentiate it from the other cause of loss of consciousness that were mentioned before. During our journey in diagnosing cardiac syncope, we had to look for carefully the underlying etiology. Also, we had to identify the high-risk patient because the impact of risk stratification on the management plan. And we had to make sure that the patient with cardiac syncope receives the specific therapy of the concomitant disease. This is are some references for cardiac syncope. For more details, I hope that we satisfied our objective. Thank you for your attention. With my best regards.